Hello, it's me again, Øystein Overgaard from Norway. I've been leading worship all day and thinking the best way to finish off a good day was to make a little video and send to you guys in Albania. So the topic today, just wanted to touch, was songwriting. See, we think that, we know that God is a creative God. He created the universe. He created me. He created everything I see. And we know that we are created in God's image. So we know that creativity is something that we have inside of us. And we see it in different ways, how some people, they get great ideas. Some people, they like designing cars. Some people, they paint. Some people, they write music. They write lyrics. Many times you have different people coming together with different gifts and writing worship music. One of the things that I've found is that we have different ways of approaching songwriting, and we have different qualities. One of my things is I get a lot of ideas, and I get really excited, right? So I start writing the song, and it's, and when I'm kind of like 70% finished with the song, it starts to become hard work, and I get a little bit, frustrated. And then sometimes, well, too often, I've gotten to a place where I start writing a new song because I get some new creativity and I don't finish the old song. So I've written over 200 songs, but most of them I never really worked through. So, one year I just told myself that this year you're not allowed to write another song. You have to finish the ones you've started. And, I don't know if that was a good idea, but at least that helped me finish quite a few songs that I didn't finish. And another tip for if you're like me is I see that when I get to the point where I start, it's not just, I got an idea, but it's getting to be hard work. And I try to connect with some people that are good at, what I'm struggling with, So, for instance, one of the people on staff in our church running the worship school, Thomas Williamson, he has been co-writing with me on several of my songs. And so when my song is about 70% or 80%, I'll invite Thomas in and we'll talk about the song and we'll work together. Sometimes, for me, it's a lot better to work with somebody, and I get the song finished. And so you'll see, like the last recording that we released, 3 of the songs were like that. And that's really, just find how do I work and what are my strengths, and try to build on that. And I just think that God has put us together as a body so that we can work together also in these areas. And oftentimes, we have a great idea and we can make a song that's really good. but that's usually just luck because you have the creative part, and then you have the craft of, being a songwriter. There's a lot of things to learn that can help you become a great songwriter. And so if you're pursuing songwriting, it's good to kind of go through the different songs that you like and just study them, and see if you can find things on YouTube that can help you. But most of all, write songs. I mean, it's better to write 10 songs and find that one of them is good than to try to write one really good song. So that's just I think just to do it again and again. It's just like learning to play the guitar. You get better and better as you work on it, and and the second thing I was thinking about is is when you work with a song, where does the creativity come from? Where does your inspiration come from? And I think that when we're writing worship songs, the songs that really make an impact are the songs that are inspired by God. So I think it's all about listening to God, and just what God do you think is important to sing about. And as we pray and seek Him, to just to sing out thoughts that we get, try to just get down the things that we feel there's some strength in, that there's power, and when we sing it, we just feel there's something to this. And maybe you're just playing your guitar and with God, just spend time just listening to your heart, and just, is there a sentence, is there something you feel you want to sing, is there a longing you want to put a word to? So I think we believe that God can change people's lives, but then it's important that our inspiration comes from Him, so that it's not us trying to do something in our own strength, but that we connect to His strength and what He can do through a song. So that's really just get your creativity from God, because He's the one who gave it to you, and He kind of knows what's gonna touch people. Yeah. So we have many ideas. It's a good idea to just write. If you have a sentence in your head, you like this, oh, that was a great sentence. Write them down. Have a little notebook on your phone or something, and just write down those little things that you feel are powerful. Or maybe you hear someone preach about something and it really touches you. Okay, how could you put that into a song? So we get our creativity from our relationship with God, but also, of course, from the Bible. And the more we know the Bible, the more we know how to write songs that are biblical, and yeah. So creativity comes from God, and that's from the relationship with Him, and with and through the Bible. If you have a song, try to connect the Bible verse to it, even though it's not just a Bible verse that's in the song, but there's what you're saying is kind of linked to what the Bible verse is saying. That's good. So So when I've gotten the idea and I start working with the song, maybe I wrote a verse, a chorus, and then another verse. So I'll go through the structure of the song and start working. So in the beginning, you just let the creativity flow. You just write down and you just, record it. You just try to sing some stuff, and then you look at it, and you see, okay, verse 1, my life is in the hands of God. That's the first line, maybe, right? In verse 1. And then you look at your verse 2, and maybe you see, I am a child of God. And there's only 6, right? I am in the hands of God. That's 7. You get the idea. I am. So go through the song and look at the structure. Do you have the same amount of, can you count the same way so that it adds up, so that when you put a melody and you put a note to it, that you can sing the same melody for the first and the second verse? That is kind of helpful when you want to teach people a song. So that's important. And so just working at the song and looking at, the melody. Maybe sometimes you write a song and all the lines, they end on the same note, maybe an A, right? So if you find stuff like that, and you just, it's a good idea to try to see, can I change the melody a little bit so that they don't all stop at A? Because if you do that, what's going to happen is people are going to get very easily tired of the song, because it goes to the same place the whole time. And I was looking at this song that another person wrote to give some feedback, and all the sentences started with the same word. And you think, is that possible? Yeah, sometimes you end up doing things that it's a good idea to look at it again and just see, okay, what can I do with this song so that it's, there's some other words, so that you're not just repeating yourself. And when you're saying something, try to see, how can I say this? Can I say this in a new way? If you sometimes, if there's like a way of saying things that's a little bit new, people tend to like that, and they want to listen more to the song because it's more interesting than if you just sing the same over and over again. Yeah. So that's a little bit about that. I think when you write a song, it's important to think, is this a song that we need? I've written songs that I think the main reason for me to write the song was for my personal life. But then there's other songs that I think is for the congregation. Maybe, songs that are for the country. And I see, if we're gonna, like on our last album, when we're trying to look at different songs we've written and to see which songs should we record, we were looking at things like, okay, which songs are we singing in English because we don't have Norwegian songs that kind of have that theme, that have that topic, that helps us say what we feel like saying. So that's one thing. Which songs do we need? Another thing could be like, in your church, there could be a topic that is important for the pastor to get through with. It could be a life in faith. It could be, all sorts of things. So if you could write a song that hits on that nail, that helps the pastor get through with his message, because you've written a song that's talking about the same things that the congregation goes home and sings. That's very good. I mean, we actually had a full year where we, the topic was a life in faith. And so as we were starting to talk about this and the preaching started, I just one day was sitting in the cell group and I just felt the sentence coming, that, Lord, give me the eyes of faith so I see what you see. And so what I did was I wrote a song, and that song later became recorded. It's been used a lot in our church and in many other churches. And I came out of, wanting to serve what our church was doing. So that was a song that was easily embraced because everyone understood that this is important. So that's, some of my things I think are important. I think the last thing I'd like to say is, as we're being creative and kind of write a song, not to be too afraid of letting other people come with their opinions, because people have very different opinions. And, I've experienced that you could ask like a theologian, a professor at the university, to look at some lyrics, and he says it's not good. And then many other people say it's good. And then you record it, and then he hears it and he thinks it's really good. And the same person said it was not good, and now he says it's good. So just knowing that people's feedback are important, but to not, if someone says something that's not, just positive, don't just, think that it's crap and something you can't use. Because look for what's the vision, what was when I was creative, and I felt there was something about this theme that was important, this concept in the song that I wanted to build, that I felt was needed. Talk to people, invite them, maybe co-write with many, but just make sure that you're not, ruining the vision for the song, because I think that's where the power is. So as long as you're faithful to the vision, one of our songs on the last album, I think we were all together. I gave credit to 10 different people as songwriters, because along the process they gave some feedback, they gave input, and even though it was kind of the vision for the song was mine, the song became a lot stronger because I was letting all different people in on the song, giving feedback. And that's with that saying that anyone that says something about a song has to, be written up as one of the songwriters. But just so that's said, so just think it's more important to think that I want to become a better songwriter than to think I want to show everyone that I'm the best songwriter. Just think that I have a lot to learn. Who could teach me? Where can I get some more knowledge? And just let that be, your position. I think that's so important. And I'm so glad you guys are working on songwriting, and I just pray that you'll You'll write songs that will make a difference in many people's lives. And I see sometimes we release an album and you don't see everything that happens in people's lives. But every now and then, I meet people and they say, "Oh, this song just made such a difference in our church." And there's so much fruit of songwriting that you don't see, and it's easy to get discouraged. But just keep on working and just have faith in God. And if you feel that's something that God has put in your heart, then just pursue it and let that just be an important part of what God is doing in Albania and with Albanians, if they're in Macedonia or Kosovo or Albania. Amen. Thank you. Which is some points from me on songwriting. Take care. Bye-bye.